Come
Thank you for meeting with me today, Aaron. I'm Amy Barilak, and I just kind of want to introduce myself a little bit, if you don't mind. I'm a sales manager with Aflac and have been with us for 12 years, but am now an employee. How much do you know about Aflac, or are you working with anyone else from Aflac?
No, we got a couple of cases where Aflac's in there, but we don't work directly with any of the agents. But we know that they have Aflac.
Okay. Well, in 2015, then, since you haven't been exposed to us all that much, in 2015 as a company, we made some changes, and we started a broker division after a year-long of lunch focus group meetings where we sat down with brokers like yourself and just really let you kind of voice your opinion. None of our brokers knew who was sponsoring this, so they got to talk about everything. Allstate, Transamerica, Trustmark, Aflac was one of them, and consistently, we heard some of the same message. So we took that knowledge and started a company rather quickly. We're now employees of Aflac and have carrier reps and look like much of our competition. So even our territory alignments are similar to our competition today. Additionally, what we were able to do is make some consistencies in our commissions that we paid to our brokers and our broker partners, make some national arrangements with those broker partners that were very committed to us, again, just like our competition was doing.
It's about time. You brought up the consistency and commission. How do you assure? I mean, like I said, we have some groups with them. We did some business in the past. A lot of times we felt like we never even got paid. We didn't even know how to read the statements. And now that's why we just don't deal with it. We just avoid it.
Right. And that's something that was brought up, across the country. So we have 4 packages that we show to our brokers, and then you make the decision how you want to move forward with what commission package. So from a broker that does everything themselves and has, a staff that does all of their enrollments one-on-one with those employees, we have a package that pays them the full comp.
That's primarily what we do.
So when you do those enrollments, how much of your business is voluntary?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not really sure. I know we do some business with Allstate though.
And are your employees enrolling Allstate, or is someone from Allstate?
Yeah, the girls are enrolling Allstate.
So you don't know your participation on those products?
You'd have to ask one of them.
So what is your biggest pain point with the employers that you work with yourself, that you personally are in your book of business?
The biggest pain point with my employers, I'm just trying to help them save money. That's the biggest thing. Everything's getting so expensive now, and we try to make everything as seamless as possible. So I have my ladies do those enrollments and just help save these employers some money.
So you mentioned the girls in the office. Can you tell me a little bit about how y'all are built as an agency?
Sure. You've got 3 producers, and each of them have 2 account representatives that do a lot of that work. Account executives, I'm not sure what you want to call them. Everybody uses different terms. But they do a lot of the enrolling. Producers will sell the group, and then we pretty much back away unless it's one of our larger cases.
Okay. And you're the practice leader? So who is in charge of kind of vetting the carriers that you do approve to then, perpetuate those messages throughout your organization to
Sure. It depends on the type of business. We do have someone who kind of looks at your ancillary things, and she does a lot of that for us.
So do your producers consult with her about voluntary?
They're not required to,
okay,
but they tend to do that.
And what incentives within the agency do you have for this voluntary person that helps with these decisions?
We pay her.
Do you pay the producers?
Yes, we do. The incentives for her, it really just depends on the carrier and what they're offering too. And she will share a portion of that bonus.
So it's individual comp goes to her, not to the agency?
That's right.
All right. And then those account reps, are they incented to grow lines of business for re-enrollments?
No.
They're not. Okay. So what is your, for 2016, I guess, what is your area of most opportunity that you're really looking grow the agency?
Well, I haven't told you this, but we had a side of the agency that sold a lot of individual plans in the past few years, and as you know, we've lost 6 figures on that recently. So voluntary has been something we've talked about a little bit, but like I said, we don't, I personally am not involved too much in that. Haven't dealt a lot with it.
So do your individual producers have a goal tied to voluntary?
This year, we're still trying to work that out. Our strategy is very limited on voluntary. Like I said, they don't.
Now, who are some of your broker partners that you lean on or work with, or?
Well, we are looking at making some, I'm not comfortable telling you exactly who they are, but we're looking at making some partnerships with payroll. That is something we really want to watch, because we've seen some of the things like Zenefits coming in and so forth, and we want to make sure that we have a good payroll partner to help us.
Was it a percentage of your business loss?
Yeah.
Mind telling me about that?
You're killing me. About 20, no, I think it was under 20. I think it's somewhere around 16% of our business.
So when you have your quarterly meetings, is that one of the things that's coming up?
Yeah. It comes up all the time.
It's related to ACA reporting. What does Allstate do to help you in those situations? Do they have any ACA reporting? No.
They don't. I've never even thought about asking them.
Is the relationship with Allstate somewhat personal within your agency, or is it just strictly a product?
I think the lady I was telling you about earlier has a pretty good relationship with some people from Allstate.
Is it her brother?
Probably.
So moving forward, you say that you need a strategy. How can a company like Aflac that's pretty well branded, is there anything that we could do, or do you feel free to intrude and ask questions? You can ask me about some of your competition even.
Sure. I guess my question for you is, what makes you any different than Allstate at this point? I mean, we're just working with them. We've got a pretty good bonus run going. Why would we switch?
So who says you would have to switch? I'm sure that when you do a benefit analysis on your groups, you're not just looking at, one carrier. There's obviously something within Allstate's product portfolio that you're fond of. But there's certainly, we wouldn't have the depth that we have if we weren't competitive as well. I would say, looking at those products based on each case and evaluating that specifically is probably where we would bring some value. And then if Allstate is a carrier of choice for you, you mentioned that your internal partners enroll those products. Why wouldn't you offer another product or another option for those employees?
It'd be more work on them. On my people, that's why, I don't want to have multiple. You already get 2 or 3 carriers at a time, and I don't want to add another one.
Well, let me ask you something. How many of your accounts have Aflac in them already?
I'm not exactly sure.
So, that may be something that you may want to take a look at just from a business perspective. Oftentimes what we'll do is take a look at your accounts, do a mutual account audit with an NDA, of course, and kind of evaluate which of those accounts are Aflac. And you may be surprised to see that there are a fair amount that are already Aflac that you should probably take a look at, because you don't have competing products within those groups. So just from my perspective sitting here, first meeting, of course, I want to take care of the cases that we have. And roughly, we see about 18% of each producer's accounts are shared. So I would offer that to you.
So this is common. You get somebody's book and make an audit on it?
Mm-hmm. It's the only way that we can really determine which of those accounts are currently ours or shared. And then oftentimes it brings up other opportunities that you'll then realize, there's probably something we need to do, whether it's product-wise or maybe an enrollment solution that they're looking for. You mentioned payroll. So in these accounts, and if that's a complaint that's coming up, what is their mechanism for enrolling if it's a large group? I know you mentioned the ladies in your office do those enrollments, but what are you doing for those larger groups?
We will get first off, we don't have a lot. We have, we probably have less than 10, you know, around 500.
Okay.
Basically, we will partner with an enrollment firm to get a lot of that done.
Who are you partnering with?
Universe.
And, what is their commission split?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Usually it's around 80%. So that might be something that you want to take a look at some of our different partners that maybe could do the same thing, combining maybe a call center and an enrollment platform like Universe does. If you're in the second or third year with them, especially, sometimes they can't afford to come back if it's a.
Let me stop you. What is you mentioned about, you know, being competitive? What area are you most competitive in compared to other carriers?
So our under 100 market with our individual products, we're very competitive in individual products. Our top product for this market would be our hospital indemnity, followed by our cancer product, and then our accident plan. Over 100, we have true group chassis products.
When did y'all get that?
About 8 years ago.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
So those products it's for groups over 100. We really like to see them 250 or more. They're guaranteed issue products. We can get special underwriting concessions on cases over 1,000. It's sometimes 500 or more. Since you have only 10 or so of those groups, it would probably be worth looking at for our critical illness. It's probably the industry leader, definitely the industry leader right now. We just came out with it this year.
Okay. How competitive are commissions on that?
We're in number 1, number 2 spot. So especially if it's doing an enrollment company, we can accommodate those splits with a company like Universe.
Okay.
We do a large enough volume with Universe that there's some flexibility in points with them as well.
What do you mean?
We did 40 million-ish with them in the last year. So there's some concessions as far as underwriting with them, if that's the company that you choose.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's just based on your book of business, we do it by case.
All right.
So what else are you looking for? You mentioned a payroll partner. Are you still looking to grow in accounts, or are you only wanting to grow within your accounts?
No, we're definitely looking for new accounts. We're always looking. It'd be crazy not to.
So of those few clients that you have in their Aflac accounts, have you had the opportunity to meet those Aflac partners within that account?
Like no, like agent? I said, we don't deal with it.
Why do you avoid it? What's your?
Because it's a different person in every account. We don't want to deal with that.
Okay.
We look, I've sat down with 4 of you. All right, that's the thing that consistency is what I'm looking for.
Right.
You haven't proven it yet.
Right. Well, and that's a fair statement. And like I said, we've had a year, and hopefully with consistency, we can continue this conversation and begin to, if of those accounts, I would ask you to ask that business owner if they're happy with that person, and then maybe an introduction at that point, or if not, then that's fine too. We aren't going to push you either way. The one thing that I would like to do though is take a look at the participation in those accounts, just to see if it is in fact good. That may be something that would give you kind of a good indicator of what that looks like if you did ever meet that right partner that could then help you fulfill your enrollments.
Well, let's do this. Let's wrap it up for now, and we'll see if you show up for another appointment. How's that?
That's fair.